Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Meyer Studio. This is going to be day 2 on the portrait painting. We've changed our schedule just a little bit. Used to getting morning jump starts about this time, but this morning we're doing a demo. We're doing the demo for the rest of this month, I guess, until we start our new course in August. So good morning, I'm Jason Meyer, and that's the beautiful Miss Cindy Meyer right back there. She's a lot bigger than she looks, trust me. See, told you guys. She's real size. Okay, so today we're going to do the portrait, and I've changed the cameras up just a little bit, hopefully to give you a better experience. So this will be the only overall shot we have, but today I'm going to be focusing mostly right in here. Okay, so to celebrate that fact, I hope you've got a little better view right there, and so we can get in and you'll be able to see kind of how we're going to do what we do today. Okay, before we got started today, I pre-mixed a dark accent, which is just black with a little bit of cad red. Here is burnt umber with a little bit of cad red for my shadow. My background is going to be a gray, warm gray-green base. And then there's my skin tone. There is the color. There's the blanched out and the highlight. I'm not going to go back through all the colors of everything. I'll quickly tell you what I have in color runs. And so as we adjust them, we make them lighter. All right, and the colors that we're working with today is a primarily warm palette with cad yellow light. This is my cad yellow deep, your cad orange, cad red light, yellow ochre, burnt umber, white, ivory black, Payne's gray. Okay, so we've got ivory black and cad red. We've got burnt umber and cad red. I've got Payne's gray and ivory black with yellow ochre and that. And I don't think I put any white in it yet. Again, I want to leave white out of everything until I need it. This here has got just a touch of everything in it, plus white, including just a small touch of the gray. And that's got everything in it, but more of the yellows and a little more white. This was literally a touch of this with my white. Okay? So you'll remember our big value structure as we start today and as we work. It'll take me a few minutes to get warmed up. The portrait is all about form. The movement in the portrait's about form, so we're going to be focusing on that. What did I move around here? There we go. On the form. And let's see how we do today. See how we do. So, where do we go from here? Let's go ahead, I think, and we'll give you guys that view. We're working off Ellie, and let's show you guys the palette. All right, so Miss Claudia, good morning. Miss Susan, good morning. Hey, what are you doing like making those broad states like a Texan? What does a Texan look like? Yeah, I know, you can't. Not very far away. Not very far away. All right. Good morning, Shakti and Ellie. All right. And as always, Cindy's there. She is going to have to step out for a minute in the middle of the hour to get lovely Miss Izzy to volleyball camp, but she will be back. So if you get some radio silence from Cindy, never fear, she will return shortly. Okay, I think we've got everything covered. Shall we hit it?
Yes.
Let's hit it.
Oh, Katie's here.
Katie made it. Good morning, Katie. And because this is so basically and difficult with such concentration, we'll see if I can talk while I do this, but we may be more watching than speaking today. All right, so we don't want to go in immediately. All right, give ourselves a chance to warm up and see if we've got what we need here. I would also like you to notice today how I work a little bit different and handle the paint. And you'll see on different points of the painting, I'll handle the paint in a different manner. And one of those manners is we have to put the bulldozer away. Last week we had the big equipment out, we had the bulldozers and all of that. All right, now we've got to be a little more fine, a little finer, if you will. So a lot of this is going to be adjusted, so I don't want to commit too hard, but I know I need a good hold. Right in here somewhere. The other side of the parentheses. We want to hold what we're doing. So much for warming up.
You dove.
Okay, and sometimes you don't warm up and you just go for it. You know, and this is the thing, is I can't give you a formula because some of these things have to be more felt than anything. Like when you're warm enough to go, or when, you know, things just aren't clicking, you need to back off a little. It keeps feeling like I'm getting her chin short, but I think really it's more about this being way too tall right now. Right? Because she's going to have hair come on all of this, but because this is wrong, it's given the wrong impression. It's giving you the wrong impression about me and everything. Doesn't make me feel good. What, somebody yesterday called poor beautiful little Ellie Ben Franklin. And they said I should call this Ellie as Ben Franklin. I don't know. I was a little harsh, but I'm sorry, Ellie. I'm sorry. We'll fix you. We'll fix you. Okay. I feel a little bit better. I mean, it's still a little bit high, but I want some soft edges in here, so I don't want to go too much. But let's work big, right? And now we can come in and start doing that. But in oil, we work from dark to light. So I started with my dark. And what I'm going to do before we move on is just go ahead and get some nice flat paint on there so that this dark will hold. I don't have to go edge to edge, but I want a little bit of that dark to really hold. And then this isn't going to be too much black. It's going to come out to brown pretty quick. Pardon me. And we want to go there, that goes there, that goes there. Let's go around. Right, and why am I doing this? So I can accentuate this movement. Okay, because if you remember, our overall design here was we're going to be coming down and jutting out. So running down the face and then jutting out towards the chest before the tank top puts a stop. Boom. Okay, so that's our big main movement, and this is going to walk up to introduce us to this, and we're going to have our other movement in the background going from there to there. I was just kidding. So from Texan to a rancher. Good adjustment, Susan. Good adjustment. I like that. All right. So Rancher Jay's painting today. Rancher Jay's painting today. Here we go. You got to try on different hats sometimes, like literally. I was afraid you guys got tired of mine, so I had to invade Izzy's closet. Okay, that's not all going to stay black, but I want the black so then I can cut in. I can cut into it. And then the same up above. right for that eyelid there. And then we can cut down into that. From there, there's that. We're going to go over, up to the highlight, over, and then down. All right, everything's going to follow whatever we set there. It's got to be the same for all of them. So I'm kind of more concerned about the tilt of the head, or as concerned with the tilt of the head as I am the space between. Is this further away? Yes, sir. Let's make that a little bit smaller. That feels better to me, I think. Yeah, so this is here. You see how much smaller that, because it's wrapped around. Right, so if we get that in line and then the shrinkage, it's going to really give us more of a going back feeling, which is more of an experience. How am I doing, sweetie?
You're doing awesome.
Yeah, okay. Monday morning, so sometimes I'm not sure. Sometimes I'm not sure. All right, since we already go ahead and have the black, I'm hesitant because I feel like this is too high. So I think I'm going to wait on this right now. Typically, if I had my black, I'd like to go ahead and put a strong statement here at the front so that we can come off of it. But that's a little bit off screen, and we've only got 2 hours, right? We've only got 2 hours. Okay, you guys be okay leaving your painting this goofy looking for a while? Right? Part of it's being okay with letting it be what it is. Letting it be. So now we've got the shadow. And I have a feeling, well, we'll see. Oh, I was wrong. I was thinking I was going to be way too dark there, but it doesn't feel too bad. don't see this, but I need to say depth right there. So I need just a little bit of this up, give that room to run down. Okay. Just tuck it under a little bit there. So let's see, this one goes down like that. And that reaches over. Yeah, I think what's my deal with this chin? Or there's a little, move that whole thing down a little much. Right? You mess up, so what? One reason we work on good canvas is so that we can do that and have another go at it. Let's see, there's the bottom of the nose. Yeah. And I'll barely turn around there. It's on the short side. The short side. Smile, Ellie. Smile. Oof. Is that a mouth or a mustache? Don't worry, don't worry. It's just a matter of soft edges. And I want this paint here so I can pull other paint into it later. To do what I need to do. What did I do there? Am I doing this? Boom, let's see. I'm getting some of this stuff off a little bit. There we go. Big. There, am I straightening out too much? Am I straightening out? Let's see. So we're seeing the top of her head, which means we're gonna have to show this go around like that a little bit before we drop down, and then give her a little smile. We'll fix it, Ellie, don't worry. Don't worry. Can't have the model stressing out from your painting. That's not a good sign. That's not a good sign. Okay. Now, Okay, why did that pop out so much? Well, because we went from our warm pile to our cool pile. Right? I see that and black as the same thing. In other words, it's on our color run. It still looks a little stiff, but we're gonna get there. We're gonna get there. So one of the things that we could do here is, see if I can't find a little finer of a brush. Is show a shadow being cast on the eyeball from the eyelid and the eyelashes. And then let's see, transparency. For the eye. Yeah, I was hoping you'd pick this up, that even though it looks goofy, we can't be hurrying. Oh, somebody might see this. Let's get it fixed before anybody sees it. No. Do it right. Do it right. And right takes a long time. The fine in art, the fine part takes time. It's pretty easy to throw a couple of big things down there and be on your way. But the finesse, that takes some time. All right, probably a little bit early, but I'm going to go ahead and get a couple of these things in here. Because why? Well, you've got to have everything on the canvas before you can really start making judgments. This here's probably going to get covered up. But again, I want a sense of where we are and how it looks. Okay, so not one highlight, but look, 3 highlights there. And there's going to be some light that happens up here. Over here. And it's going to run up to here. Okay, let's see. Is that eye big enough? Small enough? Well, I think that bottom lid needs to come up. Okay. All right, and then there'll be a highlight along here. So look at all this white we're going to be having highlighted right here. Right? And a little bit there, and that'll probably be it. There might end up being a little bit over here. I don't know yet. Maybe or maybe not. Maybe or maybe not. Flesh. Flesh, flesh, flesh. Is it time to get into the flesh? So let's just take a look here for a second. Okay, a little bit of a wider view. So again, a process. Why did I leave that there? Well, because I need these other things on there to fix that. I haven't got any air in here yet. Air comes after the dark accent and the shadow. Then we're going to start messing with background a little bit. So be it. Let's mess with our background a little bit. It's looking, I don't know. It's alright. It looks a tad bit hot to me right now. So with some black and white, it's going to gray it down a little. Okay, that feels a little bit better to me. That feels better to me. And all of this is going to start running through air. More there, less up here. We're going to need this whole side here. Let's see. Where's that? That needs to come in too. So there's going to be more air back here. So I think that might need to come in here. Under here, this is all going to turn into air and run into the hair. But still, that'll be a softer edge. And then as we come around here, I want to deposit a little bit that we can move into. All of this is turning under. Okay, so what I'm doing here is I'm just putting a little bit of this background. Then once I have my flesh and light, I'm going to pull that into this color, and this color is going to gray that off just a little bit. Just a little bit. Right, remember, the happy birthday cake doesn't say happy birthday with nice frosting and decorations while you're breaking the eggs. Is this the side plane of the nose? It is. And it's not going into shadow, it's going into air. Right, this, as we turn under, will go into air. See how we're starting to carve out our form? Is that all turning under into air? Is this whole side going back into space? As this goes back into space, that goes back into space. A lot of space there. Okay. Pardon me. Pardon me, pardon me. A few little allergies. So now, we're going to be right here. Let's see. All right. So let me test out where our color is. And this typically should be on the mask of the face. All right. Probably our most colorful should be in here a little bit. And this looks a little orangey to me right now. But, patience, 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 patience. A little orange, so it looks bright enough. So what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna add a touch of Cad Red. Yeah, now we're turning. I feel we're turning into a better tone, but it's still, we want it a little more pinky. So that's where a little more white can come in. Yeah, right, there's a little bit more red in there. Again, don't get too picky about this too early because we gotta get everything up here. All right, now this is gonna, less and less softer touch as we go back. Soft edges here. All right, you see how that paint that's down is affecting this? Be careful as you press down harder because you're going to be releasing paint that's in there. And some of that might be cleaner or brighter. I told you we'd get back to this mouth. I told you we'd get back here. That's exactly right. And that's, so Susan says a good reminder that what it looks like on the palette's not necessarily what it's going to look like on the painting. And that's why before I decide, even on that black, right, if it's cold, I can see if it's cold. Little, but I'm not going to try to find that perfect because when I first put it on, it doesn't even make any sense. And then we get the shadow on, we get some air on, we get some light on, right, some blanch light on. And then as this thing comes together, that's when we can tell, oh, is this red working in this context? In this context. Yes, yes, Susan. Good reminders. Okay, so I think I'm going to kind of leave this right here. Actually, I'm going to put a little stronger there. We want to do that. Why? So we can be a little weaker over here. Again, the mask of the face. All right, we need a hard edge there where the nose finishes. Soft edge there. Coming down. All right, you see how much easier it is just letting that paint mix together on its own? And then it's just so much more harmonious. I know, we still got a long way to go. We still got a long way to go. But I hope you see the process working. Right, and why are we working right here? Well, because this is going to be most. Our most. And so then we're going to go less. But we need to know where our most stands to know whether we can get less or not. Let's see, that's blanched. Think about what you're doing, Jason. Think about what you're doing. I'm trying, man. Okay, so again, just be a little more sensitive. All right, that's not turning all the way into a hard shadow. Let's see if we can just make that all a little bit softer. Don't need to be so hard, Ellie. Soften up, girl. Soften up. Okay, so let's get something up on that forehead, and then we'll have a section there that we can start to see what we need to adjust. And after we get this forehead, maybe time to take a break. Let's see. Take a 5-minute little break there. Let everybody get up and stretch, move around. So we're going from here to here. I don't want to just jump here. What I'm going to do is tie it back to here first. And then I can see if this is enough. But I hope what you're noticing today is I set up what I need to work into before I start. Two smallest brush. I think I have one treacle and one rosemary. The very smallest one is a rosemary. You're not gonna be, it's not focused. Rosemary, ivory long filbert. And then the treacle is the treacle hog bristle, longer filbert. All right, so we walked that back. All right, it's all these little bitty forms, and that's what portrait painting is all about, is form. So, like, if you're not digging form, well, I'm not really into form, well, portraits might not be your thing. Portraits might not, at least in this style of painting, at least in this style of painting. But I deposit the paint and then I pull it. And by pulling it, it allows me to gradate off of it. As long as I slow down and I'm sensitive with my touch. Do I worry that this, no. Look, this is coming out, and then we're going here, and then that's flipping out. Yeah, I'll refine the other stuff later. But let's just get it up there. Let's get it all up there, almost like clay. Then we can push and pull that paint together, and it'll make more interesting paint configurations. But right, let's see. That's looking pretty bright to me. Well, let's see what this will do. Tempted to get a bigger brush, but I don't like washing brushes. So we'll deposit it in the center. Plenty of paint there in the center. And then let's not pull a bunch of it. Let's not pull a bunch of it. Let's thin it out. Let's thin it out. Let's thin it out. Let's thin it out. Let's wipe our brush. Wipe our brush. Wipe our brush. And now at this very thin edge, let me work this into that little bit of air that I have here. You're going to get hair, don't worry. We're going to come back and put some hair on you. But we want the hair to lay on top of this. So I want to get what's underneath it down first. Do you guys see how easy that is to make? Now, it takes a little while to get a hold of the pressure and that, but it's really not as hard as you think. It's more just about keeping your mind there. Now that, keeping your mind in one place, that can be a challenge for some people. For most of us. And I think the key is you can spend years and years and hours and hours and hours disciplining your mind and training your mind, and that's one way. Or another way is just fall in love with painting. Because when you're in love with something, does anybody have to remind you about it? No. No. So that's my answer. If you want more focus, fall more in love. As easy as that. Hey Barbara, good to see you. Good to see you. Okay, so what we're doing here is instead of working in line, we're working in mass. And mass is the language of paint. Right? Usually when we're drawing's in line. When we sketch with charcoal and we sketch in the language of mass. Right? Because we're preparing for our painting. We're not usually thinking line, but we're thinking masses. And in masses, it's all about how things meet. And these meetings can be sensitive matters. You got to choose the right location, get the right atmosphere, have the right people attend, put in the right music. High stakes meetings, guys. High stakes meetings. So we'll just treat it as such. Watch how, if you guys saw the Rembrandt, how the masterworks on Rembrandt and how he pushes and pulls paint, you see how I have darker here? And then as I just pull my lighter on top of my dark, it'll just seemingly melt into the dark. Top plane. All right, so before we go, I'm in love. I love it. I love it, Barbara. I'm in love. Me too. Me too. Believe it or not, I have a really hard time focusing. But man, when I paint, don't bother me. I'm painting. I'm painting. So, if we take our highlight then, and let's see. Interesting, if we think about highlight, actually brighter highlight will be flat instead of textural. But we can still break the plane of the surface. Still break the plane of the surface. See all that paint on there? Where's the biggest highlight? Right up here on the corner. Don't be afraid. Don't be afraid. Be a boss. Be a boss. You own that canvas. You own that paint. Be a boss. Again, then how is this mass going to meet this other paint? That bright enough for you? Yeah, you're going to burn a hole in her skull. It's too bright. But that's all right. We're going to leave that just like that for a little while. Not forever, just a little while. And I think this is a good time for us to take a break. So, we're going to put the timer up and we'll say 5 minutes for a break, and then we'll come back and we'll spend 1 more hour in seeing how we can push this. I will leave the painting up, so if you want to study it, you can. And before we leave, let's just show you guys a view of the palette that we have so far. So you can see what I've done with my initial piles that I mixed up. Right, so this were the tube colors. This is my medium. And I mixed up the dark accent. I mixed up a shadow. I mixed up background. I mixed up flesh and light. And I mixed up highlight. Then what I've done when I've adjusted all of these, I've adjusted it from these piles. And by doing that, I'm keeping harmony. Right? I avoid getting into anything new as much as possible. Occasionally you might need a touch of this or a touch of that. I think I grabbed some red to redden that off. And that's fine if you need to do the directions just not quite enough. But again, it's the harmony, it's the beauty. And if you don't get too wild with your colors, then you can pull and push them into each other. So really the simplicity of your color setup and your values, then all this beautiful in-between stuff comes from that initial founding group. All right. Barbara, I love that. Yes, yes, I'm in love. I'm in love too. Look at this. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. So we're going to let this sit just as it is. Let me see. Where's my 5-minute timer? There's a good 5-minute countdown. Pause that. Pause it, pause it, pause it. And then you need something else besides that. We need words, right? Back in. All right, look at that, me being a boss on the graphics. So you can be a boss on the paint, and I'll try to be a boss on the graphics. I'm still working on it, I know. And there we go. All right, I'll be right back, guys. Well, has it been 4:54? Good thing I'm okay at painting, because I'm not very good at producing a show. All right, let's look and see what we've got here and what we've been doing today. That's the wrong one. All right, so we're focusing on this part of the head right here. Last week we set everything up and laid things now. Now this time what we're doing is we're really trying to get the finish, right? Or I actually don't usually call this the finish. What I call it is the most, right? Kind of the climax, the pinnacle of the painting. And we want to get everything quiet, pull out the most, and then refine the rest of the painting to support this. Okay, what we don't want to do is to make the rest of the painting equal to this, right? We want to keep this the most. And that's why I'm not evenly working out or finishing things. I want to be most in here, and then as I come off, less and less and less. That's one reason I didn't do anything else in the eye yet. Do you see that? That makes that eye so much less and so much less of a focus. Okay, so we're going to continue with that, and let's see what happens. Okay, so we're looking here, and there's more to be done in here, but I still want to set up these other pieces before I go back for any refinement or fix there. Right, and I think this other next big piece of this puzzle is going to be this nose. If we can get that nose to come up off that face, that's just going to be that much more for this painting. In addition, this is the big form right here, and what we're showing is the corner of the big form. This is a small form, and then what we're going to show is the corner of the small form. And when I say show, what we're talking about is the white, the highlight. Boom, 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 boom. Right? That's a huge reason you're going right there, is because of white. So let's set up, this will be a little darker, richer than that. Darker, richer comes forward. And then it'll be a little lighter gray as it goes back. We've got shadow on this side of the face, light on that plane, air on that plane. Okay, so we'll spend a little time and see if we can't bring the nose up. After that, what we'll probably start doing is a little bit of, because what am I doing is, again, I'm just working out from here and holding that. And holding that, holding that, holding that. You're welcome, Barbara. It's so good to have you here. It's so good. And it's exciting to hear you're trying this too. I love it, love it, love it. Let us know how it goes. Send us in a picture when you get done with it. I'd love to see it. Okay, and in the meantime, Barbara gets to take the break, but for us, well, she's off to work. And I guess we could call this work, but if you're in love, is it really work? So we're going to come back here, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a little more red, not pure red. Going to add a little of my Cad Yellow Deep, just to take a little bit of that edge off of it. Okay, now it's not going to take very much of this at all. Not going to take much of this at all. So we want to go darker, a little darker, and a little richer. Somebody sneaking in behind me? Oh my gosh. Okay, so let's see how that is. And notice my light too, I'm letting the paint have a little body. Now I know we don't see this, but if we want to say this is the most forward, we say that in paint by making it the darkest, richest. Then as it goes back, it gets a little lighter and grayer up here. Grayer on the side. Get soft edges as it turns under. Really want hard edges right here. And a little air turning through there can help us with that as well. Alright. And then she has a decent amount of color right there. Now, we don't want to make it as bright as the nose, but what we can do is influence a little bit of our air there in a warm manner. All right, we'll be able to run. Because again, we want to show that tucking under before we come out. Lighter grayer back there. Fall down. Top of the nose. All right. Whew. Building's hard work. All right, let's see. So what are the highlights are describing corners? What do we got? What do we got? What do we got? All right, how about a dot there? Let's see. We're still too long up here. There's some drawing issues up here. Who drew this? Who drew this? Front and center. We gotta have a talk. Everybody just relax. We can just move some things around. Why is this teacher so uptight? Just relax, man. Oof. Oof. There's a confident student. Let's see. So we don't want to do it with light. We got to do it with shadow. We need to do it with shadow. You know what I'm going to do?
What are you going to do?
You want to know what I'm going to do? I'm going to put that bottom lip where I want it. Then I'll put in the top lip.
Oh.
Boom. How's that? How about them apples? So that lip, I'm not going to change the color too much. All right, I'm going to make it a little bit different, but it's going to be in that family. Let's see, Ellie, where's your lip? See if we come down her nose. And we've got that shadow there that we've got to reestablish, and that'll help with our form there. And then we're coming down. Top lip is about there, so that makes that bottom lip. It makes a difference, the direction of the strokes. It makes such a difference. And this tucks into that lip right there. And as this comes around here, it's going to try to tuck in there too. press too hard. Right, you see, as you can pull that stuff together, but you have to wait till you have the next color, or the color you need on your brush. Am I getting closer? I got an upper lip problem here, gentlemen. I have an upper lip problem here. I am still way too low on that. Huh? You guys just gonna let me do that and embarrass myself? What's up with you guys? Come on. Again, not a big deal. This could actually be part of the process. Alright, how do you get things softer? Well, you just bring them closer together. So I was just sensitive with my touch, and I rubbed some of that together, and it took that upper lip down. Even if I did spend 3 hours shading it. So, don't worry, there's plenty more where that came from. Alright, boot to boot. So, that's the end of the nose. Yeah, that feels like that should be about right. Yeah, that chin's just a little chinny chin chin. There's no room for the hair in the chinny chin chin. There's not even room for the chin. We're gonna have to blow some walls out here. It never happened. I won't admit to it. It never happened. You can't prove it. You can't prove it. Alright, so we'll have to restate that shadow, which means we want to be careful. See, we got to be careful because it changes everything, but this is typically why I don't do portraits. Too much work. Too much work. It's gonna come down like that. Yeah. Yeah, I think we're still in pretty good shape here. We're in still some good shape here. What do we think? What do we think? Is it time to get down with the hair? Get down with the hair? Take the Benjamin Franklin out of this young lady? straight up take the Ben Franklins out. So let's see, let's come off the black. Alright, so see how I can lay this hair now on top of what I have down there? And I can leave those soft, it didn't have to be a hard edge everywhere. So that ear will come out up here. This comes down. Then we were going to let that open up through there. Come around. All right, so, you know, just setting up further so we're feeling out as we go. So since our hair is surface, I'm going to use less cadmium. And I want to get something down underneath that the light and stuff can sit on top of. Right? Because we don't want just pure white up there. So I'm going to go a little bit darker here probably on the edges than I want so that I can pull the light into it. So even though this is a little bit darker, look, it's still lighter than that. So I want to pull this into that. Pull it in. Pull it in. And there's our soft edges. We want this coming out here, so let's pull. All right, let's nice and quiet at first. Remember, the quiet stuff is the hard part. So see if we can get nice and quiet first. I triple dog dare you. I triple dog dare you. Okay, yeah. I like the little activity back there. Some, whoo! Looks like she's just been riding a horse through Ventura or something. I don't know. This woman's wild. Alright. Oh, and this is pretty... It's pretty tight there. It's pretty tight there. See what's happening there. So the widest part of the head should be about right there. Tick, 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 tick. Again, let this kind of melt. I need some hard edges at some place, but a hard edge is easy. A hard edge is easy. It's the soft edges. Make you say, boy, howdy. There's some Texan for her, Susan. Yeehaw! Okay, so you see as I put the hair in, I'm not, and I want this to be the most. Is it too much right now? I think way too much. Way too many hard edges, things like that. But again, let's leave it there so it can stay the most. Get the other pieces around it set up. And then we'll come back and refine this just a little bit. You guys okay with that schedule? Let's see. Shakti, I cannot believe how beautiful. That's extraordinary. So simple. So simple. I'm hardly even trying. That's a complete lie. That's a complete lie. I'm on a razor's edge, and that's the thing about poetry, is it lives poetry, portraiture, and poetry lives on that razor edge. All right, so that's going to turn into darkness here as it turns into the shadow. So we're not going to put any there, and then this goes there. This is going to come right up here, spill out. We're going to let that kick that way, down, up, and the top and over. Just going to put the top and over, and that's going to come forward, 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 forward. She's like, I got more hair than that. Give me more hair. Okay, Ellie, settle down. I told you I'd get there. Oof. You're a tough client. You're a tough client. Again, this isn't the light. This is what I want the light to sit on top of. Okay. You know, I'm not really sure about the portrait, but I do think I probably need to trim the little hair on my chin. That just looks like an assault. Looks like an assault, that coming in there. All right, where are we at? We're like we got half an hour away. So I think instead of kind of spreading this too much, I do generally want to get this back in here and get this movement going. And that way, if this dries, the next time I can come in and put over the top of that. How's that for thinking ahead? How's that for thinking ahead? And then before we leave today, I definitely want to come up and get rid of some of these hard edges up here. For sure. But before we go down, we've got to come back to the finish. We have to come back to the finish. And by that I mean our highlight. Our highlight. Because we're missing a highlight. We are missing a highlight, and it is on the corner of our blanched up here and our color. Things rounded, don't let them go straight. Let that wrap around. Okay, and we've got similar right over on this side. It's going to turn in, and from right there. Again, sometimes our problem is we're spelling out what we should just leave alone. Right? And it takes a while to realize that it's not every little detail that makes a painting spectacular. Right? It's really about the leaving out of the right details. Right? Or including just the right details. Might be a better way to say that. What's up?
Shakti says, well, I am no longer convinced you don't do portraits. Your confession is complete. You have done it now, Jason.
Stop it. You guys are trapping me. Don't trap me. You're trying to trap me. Oh, that's hilarious. That's hilarious. Hey, I suffer for you guys. I'll suffer for you guys. I'm not above suffering for you guys. No, portraits they're a blast to do, but it's a kind of a specialized little field if you're going to make a living out of it. And it's just not my thing. But really every artist, you can't say every artist, but it's a good idea for no matter what you draw or paint to paint and practice on the portrait because it's just so demanding, right? So that's how you can keep your skills up to par. All right, keep you on your toes. Okay, subtle, 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 but I don't know. What do you want me to say? It's what you got to do. Okay, where are we at? Where are we at? Where are we at? Let's see. There's some hard lines happening there, buddy. Some hard lines happening there. Should be embarrassed about. I am embarrassed. You don't have to keep bringing it up. All right. Nope, not gray enough. Oh, I saw visitors. Sorry, guys. I disappeared there for a little while. Disappeared. Oh, you guys crack me up. You guys crack me up. All right, here we go. Let's see. What do we need to do with that eye? Does that eye need to come alive? Alive, 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 alive. How are we going to bring that thing alive? I wiped my brush off into a pile of paint. Added the paint, didn't take it away. So we got just a tad too much on there. Am I doing okay, Mom?
You're doing great. This is awesome to watch.
You are awesome. This needs to sneak back here. That. And with that, this feels a little stunted here. Whew. Boy, howdy. Oh, we're running out of time. We're running out of time. Running out of time, running out of time. So what are we doing? What are we doing? What are we doing? We got to get back to those. Get back. Get back to where you're. How does that song go? I lost it. There you go. Get back to where you once belonged. There you go. Ooh, that was a little scary. I thought, wow. Is that really time for that to all go away? Seems a little early. But I guess we don't get to choose these things. Alright, so I don't want that as light, but again, we'll put it on there to take it down a little bit. But I want this to come, and then can we bring it down to here? Can that point down to the nose? Maybe we even a little on the lips. Boot to boot to boot. Ellie, when did you get so sassy? Oof. Sassy, sassy, sassy. Poor models. They're just at my mercy. Sassy, mad, angry. I put them through it all. Alright, there we go. So, we got 15 minutes.
What do you do?
15 minutes. What are we going to do with these 15 minutes? Don't tell me. I want to be surprised.
Okay.
I want to be surprised. Don't you think that's over the... Well, of course I do. Of course I do. And we remember we're going to keep this a little longer and thinner, and that a little bit more this way, so we can have some different shapes. Remember? You promised. You said when I demonstrated the portrait that I could. Just kidding. See, things get weird as we get finished here. As you become exhausted. Okay, and we're doing this side warm, and we're doing this side cool. So that was with the cadmiums. Now, we need some of this business. We need to go wide for this. Do we need to go wide? Let's see. That's not wide. That's not wide. Boom. And we'll put this up there. Sorry, Ellie. You're gonna have to put you away for a little while. Okay, so before we do that, we've got to have some dark we can go into. We're going to have dark we can go into. Ba, 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 ba. So let's just get a little bit of that there. A little bit of it there. Didn't really mean for that much red, but we can deal with it. I ain't mad at you. Again, it's not going to be this dark because this is the darkest thing on the canvas right now. But I'm depositing this paint to work into it. Now it's go time. Okay, so as a reminder, we'll be back a week from today, Monday, to do day 3 on this thing. Theoretically, it would be a finish, but this is a portrait, so we'll see. But at least you guys have gotten to see what you have and the way that I might do things a little bit different as far as the applying of the paint, of the edges, of the things meeting. Right, and I'll go ahead and overshoot a little bit this time with the background, because when I'm back next time, I'm going to cut over the top of it. And I don't want to have some gap in there that I've got to reinvent this organic thing that I just did. So I'm just going to go ahead and let that overlap a little bit. And that will make for an easier time getting things complete. What is... What? I'm being too conservative. What are you guys talking about? What are you guys talking about? Uh-oh. Is fashion police here? Saying we can't wear our socks like this? What's going on?
Shakti said she looks jazzy.
Jazzy. She is jazzy. I know this young lady. She's the jazziest woman I know. Okay, that'd be a nice place to open up there. Get a little metro going through there. Boot to boot to boot. Let's see. It looks like we're about running out of time, huh?
Yep, we got 5 minutes.
5 minutes. 5 minutes. And then Shakti says I can say I'm a portrait painter and never do this again. Isn't that what she said? I keyed. Okay, before we finish up, we gotta do one more thing. Let's see, do I want that bright? Kinda do and I kinda don't. What do you think, Sin? Are you scared?
Yeah, I don't want to decide for you.
No, you just gotta decide if it looks good or not.
I think the portrait looks great.
Oh, this. Is that too bright?
I don't think so. You're the artiste.
Yeah, but you're better than me.
Shakti wrote, no.
Okay, so what do we got to do? Oh, that was good. That was bothering me. All right, I'm gonna try to get ridges and stuff out of here, nice and smooth in the background, and even see if I can't wear it down to where we can see the board a little bit here and there. Woo! Party happening up here. And that ear is going to make a huge difference. So let's put that ear in, and we can say our adieus until this evening for Masterworks. And then tomorrow morning we'll be back for the Landscape Day 2. Same bat time, same bat channel. That would be YouTube, 8 a.m., 10 p.m., 10 a.m.,
Yes.
8 a.m. to 10 a.m. Pacific Standard Time.
Katie says, love it, so beautiful. And Claudia says, wonderful, thank you.
Thank you guys for hanging out. I know that was long. Let's see. We're doing this. She's got to go up a little bit, so that ear should be, I think. All right there. Ellie, can you hear me? Can you hear me, Ellie? Hold on. Hold on. Hold on. Yep, dad jokes are everywhere today. Here we go. Can you hear me now? So dumb. I gotta make these shows shorter before I lose it. Ruin all this good work I did with a few dumb comments. He can paint okay, but man, his personality, woo, something's lacking. Tell he doesn't get out of the studio.
Shakti says, well, I only need to see it a million more times. Deal?
Shakti, I liked you. Don't change that. All right, but that looks kind of weird, huh? Because why? Because light without shadow has no substance. There's a bottom plane to this. She's alive. You got to give the girl a little color. She's alive. Tell him you're alive, Ellie. Tell him you're alive. Tell him. Oh, we gotta get that shadow back. You gotta get that shadow back, Jason. But Ma, they started it. All right.
Barbara's asking one last view of the front view of the portrait, please.
Oh, of course. I'm sorry. I forgot I'd gone back there. You guys should have been there a long time ago. Why don't you say something, sweetie?
It's intense watching you
I know.
paint.
My bad. My bad. All right. Let's see. What was I doing? Oh, we gotta put that shadow on that nose. The shadow on the nose. Okay, I think that's where we're going to have to leave it there. 2 minutes after. Oh. All right, guys. Well, this has been a ton of fun, and I've hoped you learned a lot. Probably off camera, I will go back and make sure that a couple of these highlights are softened up just a little bit. And we'll be good to go for next week. So I hope to see you guys tonight and tomorrow morning. And in the meantime, is there anything we need to say, baby?
No, go paint.
Go paint, 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 and join us if you have not already signed up for our 3-month course. I promise you, you will not be disappointed. You're going to learn more than you possibly thought you could. Okay, especially if you've been with me for this last year, you're going to get so much out of it. So we hope you can join us. All right, so that's going to be it. I guess we should show you our face and say goodbye. Bye, everybody.
Bye-bye.